Welcome to Horse Talk Live. Enjoy the next hour learning more about the people, places, and products of the horse industry. And now, Horse Talk Live.
Welcome everybody to Horse Talk Live on Rural TV. I'm Lizzie Iwersen. We have 3 guests with us today. I want to welcome back Allison Trimble and welcome for the first time Kade Mills and Kimberly Barber. We have a lot to discuss today. It's great that we have 3 different people, but you all have a lot in common. And as I had mentioned, Allison, this is not your first time here on Horse Talk Live. We liked you so well that we got you back here for a second time. So tell us what you've been up to since we saw you last.
Well, last time I was here kind of promoting, you know, my program, but then the Great Alaska Horse Expo, which we had in the end of June. So we're here just kind of recapping that and getting to meet some of the other clinicians that were there, and happy to be back. Had a great time the first time.
All right. And Allison brought with her 2 other great clinicians, and everybody here has their unique style when it comes to horsemanship. Next, we're going to meet Kade Mills. Kade, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell us where you came from, where you live, that sort of thing.
I grew up in the western part of Canada, and I got a whole family of horse trainers that we all kind of compete and do the same things together. So.
Okay, and was it your first time to Alaska when you went for the?
Yeah, it was. I'd always wanted to go. I love to fish and stuff, so.
Okay.
That was a great example.
And pretty easy to convince people to come.
Yeah.
I know, it didn't take a lot of
Well, we'll get to see some good video from the expo itself. And Kimberly Barber, welcome, and tell us where you come from.
From Northwest Washington, born and raised there, still live there right up near the Canadian border. Got my start in horses through the United States Pony Clubs, and that's just developed my passion for horses and my appreciation for good horsemanship practices.
Perfect. And you're focused mostly on Western dressage these days, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I got really excited and interested into that about a year ago, and I'm really excited to see the promotion of the discipline.
Okay. And so we'll get to know more about Western dressage and the demos that y'all did in Alaska. But first, let's get started, show people what the expo had to offer and who was there with this video.
I think we can all relate a little bit to Ron Grimshaw. Ron Grimshaw, he was one of a kind, but he was born 100 years too late. He'd have done best in the days of the West when there wasn't a fence or a gate. He didn't understand all the laws of the land, but he'd do anything for a friend. He'd stand and fight for what he thought was right. If he had a chance, he'd do it again. He rode on the back of a stallion black. He was quite a sight to see, going for a ride with his dog by his side, right down my hometown main street. He felt quite at home, living all alone, and his home was anywhere. In a shack or a shed, with a saddle neath his head, out under the open air. So tell me now, Grimshaw, are you riding somewhere over on the other side, where you won't have to fight the brush and the Bradley and those mud flats at high tide? And may you ride a big white stallion, and may he have a gentle stride, and may you never see a fence again. Ride, Grimshaw, ride. Well, then word came, it burned like a flame. They'd fenced a stallion in. He saw red, it went to his head. It was more than he could stand. So that mountain man, he put his gun in his hand. He went to set that stallion free. How far have we come when we live by the gun in the 20th century? Now when word got around that he'd been gunned down, I just had to get away and be alone. So I rode my horse through those rolling hills where Grimshaw once called home. It was late of an evening, and o'er the bald mountain sky, I saw a big old white cloud stallion. It looked like Grimshaw just riding by. And I hollered up and I said, "Hey Grimshaw, are you riding somewhere over on the other side? We don't know what side, where you won't have to fight the brush and the Bradley, or those mud flats at high tide, and may you ride a big white stallion, and may he have a gentle stride, and may you never see a damn fence again. So ride, Grimshaw, ride, ride, Grimshaw, ride, ride, Grimshaw,
Right, Great Alaska Horse Expo. Allison, where did the idea for the expo come from?
Well, I got involved in some expos this last year and kind of shifting my business around, and I thought, gosh, that'd be such a great way to take a bunch of people back to Alaska. And I actually went to horse camp at the facility, the Kenai Peninsula State Fairgrounds, where we hosted this, was where I went to horse camp every single year growing up as a kid. I mean, you just waited all year to go to horse camp, and so it's this really great circle of events that kind of came back to that. But yeah. I have a number of people. Everybody who was at the expo was kind of a personal friend or connected to me in some way, or I really believe in their programs. And so it was really fun to be able to bring that back to it's a pretty small horse community, but a very involved horse community that doesn't have a lot of professional trainers or access. Right. There's a very short riding season. There's a lot of things. And I guess I went to school and thought, oh, I'd just love to be able to bring this back, you know, here.
So what did everybody think? What was the overall response for the first expo?
Well, it was really fun. It was different. You know, expos are usually based in being more of a demonstration based. And so I went into this and I had it set up where, you know, there was nothing overlapping because I knew everybody would be able to, you know, want to watch everything. But what ended up happening is everybody would come in and ride and everything. So it'd be like, and it's your reining demo. And there'd be 15 people in the arena for a 1 hour demo. So we're definitely next year shifting it to be a more participant-based expo because that's definitely lends more to the Alaskan style of wanting to do everything.
And Kade, what was your involvement and what did you do and what was your experience like?
I did a colt starting demo where I just took a colt that hadn't been rode and I played with him for a few days until I could get on him, and by the end we were riding around having fun. And then we did introduction to roping and introduction to the rope horse to cattle.
Okay, and so what did you think about your demonstration?
It was really interesting. The colt starting demo I didn't teach with as many students as these guys did. It was just me in the round pen, but right. The roping was fun. There was a wide scale of people. People were in an English saddle trying to learn how to rope, and I mean the versatility of it was definitely really fun, and yeah, a lot of really nice people.
Yeah.
He got to work the reindeer off of his horse.
Yeah, I did.
The reindeer. That was very fun. Took it down the fence.
That's as Alaska as it gets, yeah.
And Kimberly, what were the clinics or the demos that you were hosting?
Well, we led off with an introduction to jumping, and like Kade said, you know, wide variety from riders who've been jumping their whole career versus riders who are there trying to do it for their first time. And then we did an introduction to Western dressage, where I had just again, a wide variety of riders, from chill riders to jumpers, and then finished the week with an introduction to traditional dressage, where we picked up a lot of what we left off with on Saturday with the Western dressage, because it was a lot of the same group. But I loved everybody's willingness to come in and try something new and really appreciate their horse.
So how did it work? Folks just showed up every day, or did you have to pre-enter?
No, I mean, I spent a lot of time just kind of social media-wise. There's not really like a forum in Alaska where you can reach out to everyone. I mean, growing up for me, we only really traveled about an hour. It's a lot different now. I mean, there's a lot more competition. There was also a quarter horse show on the same weekend. So it's really tough with a short season. You only have so much time to like fit all horse events into one time. So I know that we're going to have a lot better turnout next year, but we still had, I mean, just amazing turnout, really, when you think about it. I mean, this is on the lower Kenai Peninsula, so it's, you know, 200 miles, well, 150 miles from Anchorage. Like, it's just...
So people put in the time to make it
there.
there.
I mean, it was really central for me because that's where I grew up and my family's still there, but which made it really fun for all of us. But I think that there just wasn't a really good way to get the information out to everybody. I think next year it'll be really well attended.
Okay, so there will be a next year for anybody who wants to make it to Alaska. Kade, what was the whole atmosphere like while you were there?
It was really laid back. It was really interesting, actually. Like we kind of talked about the versatility of it, but everyone took all of the courses.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just because you were in a Western saddle, you took the Western courses. I had the same kids in my classes that these guys did. So I liked how everyone was just out there to have fun and learn as much as they could. There wasn't a specific thing they came to learn. They just wanted to get it all. Whatever they could have, they would go get it.
And it was really a great group of clinicians. I mean, everybody works together really well, so that had a lot to do with, I think, the success of it. You know, I wanted to make sure the clinicians were all really interactive with the people, because I know all of us have kept in contact with a number of the people, even like that I didn't know from before, so that was really exciting.
So what other clinicians did make it there besides the three of you?
Ray Lockhart, he does like practical horsemanship. He's based out of Santa Rosa. He did a great job with like pushy horses and things like that, which are really common things in Alaska. Because some of the horses are like 30. I mean, I had a 30-year-old in my ranch horse. I mean, like they have their own history. And then Mark Plumley is with Mission Farrier School, and he is amazing teacher. He doesn't do a lot of expos, but I mean, he is just brilliant at explaining, you know, healthy foot function and all of that. I attended. I mean, the nice thing for all of us is we got to attend all of each other's clinics, so it was really interesting that way. And then Barry Cox is does some like problem horse stuff. He's actually based out of Oregon, but he married a gal who is my was my 4-H leader growing up and was really instrumental in my love of horses for sure. Shirley Cox, and so she married him, and he's there in the summers. They're there in Anchor Point area, and so he's pretty influential right now. They do have him like all summer to be able to do clinics and be there to personally help both him and Shirley. So that was our.
Well, one of the things that you guys mentioned we were talking about before the show, which sounds like it'd be so much fun, is the fact that it stayed light the whole time. So late into the night, you were still riding and still messing around with your horses.
We did. We all got in, and because there were 15 people in the intro to ranch sorting clinic, right? So it was really hard, an hour to get through everybody. So afterward, we left. I was like, we'll just come back afterward and we'll just work cattle. And that was when the
reindeer came out.
The reindeer situation. He was really, his name's Crash the Reindeer, and it's a 4-H project for a little gal, Jenna Hansen up there. And they were really involved. Both the husband and wife and Jenna were involved in like everything, and have been great since then. And so Crash was there informationally and just for everybody to experience that, because they do have to do some horseman reindeership stuff kind of. And so instead of
new business,
now he's just, they'll own him forever, and he's just kind of a fixture. So goes to the fairs and does like information on like reindeer sausage and stuff, which seems, you know,
I mean, it sounds like Alaska.
Right.
Never been, but that's
so
what I'd imagine it to be like. So we just all hung out and
worked cattle and had a good time, until, I mean, it really doesn't, that was it was like basically solstice, summer solstice when we were there.
Well, that's to me, that would be the most fun part of it all, is just hanging out with people and getting to know people that are riding different horses, different disciplines.
Well, certainly the night that we got there, singing on there was Otts Kilcher, and he hosted the Great Alaska Cowboy Race. And he was my music teacher when I was growing up, and they have a show that kind of highlights their family called Alaska: The Last Frontier on Discovery Channel. And so he's Jules, the singer's father. And so he's been really involved, and he's a great, horseman in his own right, and does a lot of packing and hunting and stuff. And so we're fortunate to have him come out, and he played for us and ran a bunch of new songs by us. And, we all hung around and barbecued and hung out on the bluff at my parents' house. So that was fun. There was like 17 people we brought in from out of town to come
Staying
to
at your parents' house?
Well, all over in different places around there. Yeah, but it was a really good time. I mean,
He also made every single demo too.
Yeah.
He supported the whole thing the whole time we were up there.
Sounds like everybody made every demo.
It seemed like it. Yeah, it was great.
It's the Alaskan way.
Well, that's how it should be, hanging out with your horses and other people that like horses. We're going to take a quick break and continue our discussion with all three of these great clinicians when we come back after this. I stumbled. I'm sorry. No.
It just makes you look human.
Yeah. Don't make fun of me.
I thought you said it right, but then you just repeated yourself.
Oh, I don't know.